Hello, everybody, and welcome to literally extra special episode of your Bish Therapist podcast. I don't want people to get too excited. This isn't a regular episode. This is an episode to talk about some housekeeping issues, specifically audio issues that I had on my last podcast. So I wanted to address that and to explain what happened and apologize for bursting people's eardrums. I've got many DMs about that. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about as well the Spreaker Supporters Club. And the reason why I am posting this episode publicly is because people were having so much trouble finding it and I felt so bad. So what I'm going to do today is explain after some housekeeping, I'm going to explain what the Spreaker webinar that I attended, what I learned, and how to get you all to the right place, and then some of the benefits that are going to come from being a Spreaker supporter. So if you are someone who just excited to hear another episode and hear me talk, thank you for joining. But if you're thinking about the Spreaker Supporters Club or you wonder what it is, there's no obligation. So please, you're welcome to stay and listen to what it is. And I'm happy to explain it. So before I get into any of that, I wanted to sincerely apologize and explain. So the last podcast episode that I did released on Tuesday, I literally was having a meltdown because I was having such intense audio issues. I didn't understand what was happening. And I don't have anyone to help me. So literally what you're hearing is I talk to myself in my computer and my microphone. I edit everything. I post everything. Descriptions, like it's all me. I'm a one-man band. And I have people in my life who are supports, but what I'm doing right now is just so foreign to us. It's just not anything I ever saw myself doing. And so my husband and some of my friends, I mean, they'd love to help, but they just don't have the skill set to do it. So it's kind of like I feel like I'm learning a new language, and there's definitely bumps along the way. My thick accent is coming through in the fact that sometimes I'm going to make missteps. So for the people who DM me, please know I got those messages, and I truly am sorry for hurting people's ears. Because the other thing that I need to explain is that the ads that are on my show, I don't have a lot of control over that. I have turned off certain topics that I just refuse to have those. But other than that, I don't have a ton of control. So in terms of the volume and what they are, that's something that I don't love about this. And I'm working on exploring that as well. Specifically, I know there are some casinos that advertise, and I'm not a fan of that, but I'm just trying to figure that all out. So what happened was this past weekend was Mother's Day. And so we had a lot of activities, more than usual. And unfortunately, I had to wait till the last minute to record my podcast. So my podcast comes out on Tuesday, and I was recording this on Monday, which I do not like to leave it to the last minute. So I did that. I recorded everything, and it was an hour and 10 minutes. And as I'm editing, I use a recording software called Riverside, and normally Riverside is fantastic. They do magic audio. They really help me because really, I am not great at this. So they help me. It's user-friendly is what I'm saying. And they added this new feature to remove words, unnecessary words like and things like that, which of course, again, I apologize. I do use those words sometimes a little too much. When I'm talking to myself for an hour, sometimes it's all a learning curve for me. So after I recorded the episode, the very long episode, I was editing and the audio was crackling. So it was a good volume, but it was it was just like constant crackling. And so I'll tell you the funny thing about me. I am not necessarily neurodivergent, but after I had COVID, my brain felt different in terms of things that I understand to be kind of neurodivergent symptoms sometimes. So, for example, certain noises will really irritate my brain. It's like it's almost makes it like hard for my brain to even focus. And so when I heard the audio, I was like, well, that's not going to work, because if I can't tolerate this, why should anybody else? And I tried literally 17 edits. I tried without the magic audio, with it, with the, removing those extra. I tried all of it. And at the end of the day, I was like, I have three options here. I can either not post an episode, which I didn't want to not post it because I had just recorded an hour and 10 minutes. I can release the bad audio, which didn't seem like an option to me. Or I can release the literal raw audio. So what you heard was just literally raw audio, no editing whatsoever. So it was quiet, and I knew that it was quiet, but I thought, well, this is gonna have to do. And then it did not occur to me about the commercials. And so people reached out, which, listen, I appreciate that. I don't take it. Well, some people weren't super nice, but I don't take it. I like feedback. Feedback is important to me. Your feedback is important to me because this show is for you all. Even though people love to say that I'm here for clout or what. Oh my God, it's been the worst week. So I really am doing this for you. And I want this to be an experience that is enjoyable and fun, and people get something out of it. And audio issues are just so annoying. So I made a mistake. I didn't consider that. And this is a test for me too, by the way, what I'm recording right now. Hopefully this audio is good and, there's no issues with it. So if there is, please let me know. But yeah, it's been a rough week for your bish, physically. And I've just had a lot going on, which I'm not going to bore everybody with, but it just feels like one of those weeks. So my computer, my printer. I went on Mandy Slutzker's podcast yesterday, and that episode, by the way, I wanted to promote that as well. So Mandy Slutzker, she was a guest on my podcast. I was a guest on hers. And so I got so much feedback from you all about, we just jive together really lovely. I enjoy her. She's a wonderful person. And so we talked about Vanderpump Rules, The Valley, and she got my take about like why I'm not covering Jersey and what my thoughts are about it. And we actually did touch on some juicy stuff there. So if you're interested in listening to that, that will come out Sunday, and I will post links to that once it's posted. On Tuesday, I am going to be posting my own episode solo about Vanderpump Rules and The Valley. Then I am going to be having a very special guest on my show, which I guess I'll tell you. If something happens and it doesn't come to fruition or they reschedule, whatever. So I'm having Ann Maddox, Tom Sandoval's ex-assistant. I'm having her and her partner, Maddie, on, a podcast partner, I should say. Maddie, they started a podcast called We Signed an NDA, and apparently they are fans of the show and approached me about, kind of doing a little interview. So I'm going to do that. And so that will be probably at the end of this month. Mandy Slutzker is going to be coming back on my podcast the week of, oh gosh, I don't remember. Not this week, but next week. And we're going to be talking about Vanderpump Rules, because at that point we'll have seen the reunion part 2 and Summer House, because she's a huge Summer House fan. So definitely lots of exciting things to come on YBT. Okay, so now let me get to the Spreaker Supporters Club. Spreaker Supporters Club is a club that, thank you to those of you who have already joined. I appreciate you very much. It is a club for people. It's basically like Patreon. But the reason that I'm doing it on Spreaker is I use Spreaker's platform. I used to be on Acast. That changed because Acast is really for big podcasts, and I wasn't getting a lot of traction there. I wasn't getting a lot of help or feedback or anything like that. And so switched over to Spreaker, and Spreaker is a really great platform. They have somebody there who can help me when I need it. Unfortunately, with the audio stuff, it was just too late, and that was my fault. And so, she couldn't have helped me with that. But I feel more supported as a content creator on Spreaker. Okay, so that is why I am interested in this program. And admittedly, the Spreaker Supporters Club is a new thing for them. This is kind of beta testing. And so unfortunately, what happens is when things are new, there's a lot of, there's learning curves, right? Which, my goodness, can I appreciate, because I've just explained I've continued to have a lot of learning curves. And so doing the Spreaker Supporters Club for me is easier than doing a Patreon because I'm already on Spreaker. Now, here's the reason why people couldn't find it. People are having a hard time finding how to join and how to listen to the episodes. And so when I did this webinar with the rest of my peers who are doing the Supporters Club, we all got together and we met with some of the folks from Spreaker, and we did identify that there were some issues on their end. So Spreaker Supporters Club is easier for me because I'm already utilizing Spreaker and I do get more support. So that is why I chose it. And number two, the good thing about Spreaker, which I just thought maybe you guys would want to know, is that the Supporters Club, they're the only platform that doesn't take any money from the content creator. And so for me, I'm so new at this. I'm just starting out. I'm really not making a lot of money. All the money I make is from ad revenue. And the more listens you get, the more ad revenue, et cetera, et cetera. So, it's a business like anything else. And I'm new and I'm green and okay. And that's okay. I'm, trying to pull myself up by my bootstraps and just like hustle and all these things. But, it is a challenge. And so, Apple Podcast Premium and some other places take up to 40%. And it's like, that is wild. And so Spreaker, what I appreciate is the money that you are paying, it goes right into my pocket. Of course, there's a Stripe credit card fee, which, of course, nothing's perfect. But I figured you all would like at least an explanation, because if I'm asking you to go find this podcast and listen to it, because it's not as user-friendly as I would love it to be, I want you to know that why, I am doing what I'm doing. So, number one, my last podcast episode for supporters had ads, and I have disabled that. I didn't realize. I thought when you put it for the supporters, it would automatically not have ads, but that, again, was my bad. So the number one benefit, one of the benefits of Spreaker Supporters Club is you will get the episodes without commercials. And I commit to doing that because that's, now in the future, I might need to add one or something. But as of right now, for the foreseeable future, for at least 6 months, there are going to be no ads. Another benefit of this, Supporters Club that I found out through the webinar is that you can get episodes early. So I would have to record them early and post them early, and that may not happen this season. Like, for example, if I'm recording with somebody like Mandy, I can release those episodes early to just you all, and then to just the supporters, and then release it on Tuesday like I do for everybody else. I don't know if people want that or not. I don't know if people care about that or not. So please give me feedback on that if that's something that you'd like to do, because it is extra steps for me, but I'm happy to do that if it is what people want. Okay, let's see. And so the other thing I found out, okay, so this is why you're having an issue finding Spreaker Supporters Club, is that on the website, Spreaker.com, and here's what I'm saying. It's Spreaker, Spreaker, like streaker, but Spreaker. So you can go to Spreaker.com, look for Your Bish Therapist, and they're different words. It's not all one word, Your Bish Therapist. And through the website, you can subscribe to the podcast, and you can join to become a supporter that way. Okay. The glitches that we realized is that the Spreaker app right now, by the way, which is free, and right now you can do the same thing. You can download the app, the free app. It's user friendly. I like it, but you can find my podcast that way. But the glitch and the problem is you can't join that way, which is annoying. And they are fixing that, because that's a real issue. Like, nobody wants to jump through hoops to do something, to spend money to support somebody. Like, I'm grateful enough that people are, doing that, period. I want to make it as easy as humanly possible for you all. Please understand that. And so if for some reason this supporters club stops, it's not working well, or it's really hard to access, then I'm going to have to bite the bullet and either do a Patreon or something else. So just know that my commitment is to you all. My intention is just to grow and continue this, and, offer as many episodes as I can, whether it be, I'm always going to offer free content. That's never going to stop. But it's just something additional, and I'm just excited to bring you all more content. So this is going to be it for me today. Hope you enjoyed the extra second episode. And Tuesday, I will be bringing you, when I watched the Valley and VPR, I sincerely have 6 pages of notes. So it is going to be a long podcast, and it's going to be juicy. So please tune in on Tuesday for that. Please tune in Sunday to my podcast with Mandy Slutzker called Is This Real Life? I will post links to that on my Instagram. And thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate you all.